we're going to be doing today is we're going to swap out the overflow valve. And I'll try to explain a little bit on how it works and what it does. The overflow valve itself is right here. So this is it. It looks like just a banjo bolt, but inside of that banjo bolt is hollow and it's got a spring in it. And what it does is think of it as a kind of like a pressure relief valve in that spring. So your lift pump supplies pressure to the injection pump, and what regulates that pressure is this overflow valve. And so it bleeds off excess fuel pressure back to your fuel filter. So this is the line right here. So just say it's supposed to be 30 psi. Anything over 30 psi, say this pump starts building, the lift pump builds up too much pressure, it overcomes the spring in the overflow valve and lets that fuel go back to the fuel filter. And so what happens over time though is that spring gets weak, and that causes you to have low fuel pressure in the injection pump. Now that's separate from the pressure that goes to your injectors. Your injection pump takes that fuel that it has and it bumps up to over 1,000 psi or whatever. I don't know offhand, whatever it is that goes to the injectors. But you want a good steady fuel supply to your injection pump for good performance. And so if you're supposed to have 30 psi and you're only getting 10, you will have some performance, your performance will suffer. So what we're going to do is, this valve here is not rebuildable. The way they make it, you can't really disassemble it. But what I've got is an older style valve, and I bought this from a forum. I'll put a link. It was the last one he had. This is the rebuildable style, and if you look, you can see it's got two bolts. Got this one. You take that out, and that gives you access to that spring. You can see it just a little bit there. That's inside, and you see a little check ball there. So that check ball, seals off, and that spring sets the pressure. And so this actually has an upgraded spring that boosts the fuel pressure inside the injection pump just a little bit, and it will improve performance. But most likely mine is low on pressure anyway, because that valve has so much, or that spring, has 30 plus years and who knows how many miles on it of opening and closing. So we are going to swap in this valve to replace the one that's on mine. Now when we do this, we need to make sure we do not drop the two washers here. Now I've already sprayed this off with some brake cleaner just to make sure we don't get dirt down in the injection pump. And we will probably end up having to change out this fuel line here. We'll see. Alright, hopefully y'all can see okay and I can work around y'all. We got a 17 millimeter. We're going to come in here. See if we can get this in here. Alright, so that popped it loose. Now I'm going to do this with my hands so I can hopefully not lose these washers. It's going to be difficult. Got stuff in here. if I put some pressure on this. I'm going to keep pressure on that. See, that's holding that washer in there. And I'll take this washer off. It's kind of stuck. But take this washer off, slip it on the new one, and then we're going to slip this new valve in here and hopefully not drop it or the washer that's on it. Some pressure there. And then we're losing it. Got it started. No, y'all probably couldn't see much because I was in the way, but I'm trying not to lose any of this. Alright. So that was pretty quick and easy. Now, I had done some research and I thought this was going to be 1/4 inch line. I don't think it is. It looks bigger than that. And I actually ordered some tubing to replace that line because I think it's seeping just a little bit. If you look, it looks a little bit oily along it. So the plan was to put some new line in there, but I ordered some 1/4 inch tubing, some good stuff, and it looks too small. Don't get that thing too tight. So this is what I ordered. This is good quality, I think it's Viton tubing. That looks much too small to go over there. This looks more like what you would use for the injectors, and this looks larger than that. I don't know if they changed it through the years or something, but my research showed that it was 1/4 inch and that the injectors were also 1/4 inch, but that doesn't look right to me. And so I'm going to leave it in place until I get some larger tubing. I do want to kind of keep it clear so I can see if there's any air bubbles. So we're going to leave it for right now, and I'll go order the next size up and we'll replace it with that. But so here's that old valve, and you can see there's no way to get this one apart. So, you know, you could not rebuild this valve. It'd be interesting to see. You could probably pressure test these things. You know, you could watch in there and put air pressure to it and see when that thing, at what pressure it starts opening. It'd be a quick, easy test. You know, I have no idea what this one would open at, but why don't we see if that made a difference in how this thing performs. And I'll put a link. The guy, it's Greaser, if you're on any of these Mercedes forums, it's Greaser is his name, and you know, his profile name, and he has a website. I'll put a link to it in the description. He was selling a batch of these, and I got the last one he had. He does sell the springs. If you've got one that's rebuildable, you know, you could rebuild it, but mine being a non-rebuildable type, I bought the whole valve, and
he sold the whole valve for 30, and I think he sells the spring for 25. No, wait. He sells the whole... I think I got the whole valve for 40, and he sells the springs for 35 or something. That's shipping and everything. So it was only a $5 difference, or maybe it was 25 and 30, I don't remember. But it was only a $5 difference, the spring versus the spring and the valve. But I don't know how often he gets the full valves in. And for some reason, my parts car over there, somebody already robbed the valve off of it. So they had started removing the injection pump, so I don't know if they just removed it to try to get the injection pump off, or if they used it for something. So anyway, we'll see how it performs, and I guess I'll report back. Well, maybe we'll do a test drive after this. So I went looking on the other Mercedes. I went to go grab the oil cap, this metal oil cap to put on here. I just did an oil change on this, and I remembered my parts car had a metal one, so I'm going to clean this one up and put on here. And I put a new gasket on that one, so I'll put the new gasket on this one and everything. But I was just digging around down in here. There were some hoses and stuff, and look what I found. I could have rebuilt mine. Now, of course, this one's all rusty and nasty. I guess it's been sitting down there for a while. But that is an OFV, an overflow valve, and that is a rebuildable one, unlike mine. So I'll put these two together and store them away with spare parts. And if I ever need another one, I've got one I can rebuild. And it is starting to pour down rain. Let me get in the shop. I may have misspoke on this line. My research I had done, I thought it was 1/8 inch, but it looks like it's a 1/4 inch. And the injectors look like they're an 1/8 inch, and metric equivalent, of course. But this is some 1/4 inch right here, and that looks like that's more of the right size. So I will order me some 1/4 inch. Like I said, this is 1/8 inch. This will be what fits the injector, so I can still use it. Be good stuff to put there. And order me some 1/4 inch ID for that. So performance-wise, seems a little bit better. It's still a little hesitant off the line, but it does seem a little quicker. And my speedometer's off, so it's about 5%, so probably around 55 is actually, well, yeah, probably about 57 or so on here. Between 55 and 60 is actually 60 if you're actually counted the 0 to 60 time just then. It's still a little sluggish right off the start, and I think what I'm gonna do is adjust the ALDA just a hair. But I do think that overflow valve helped out a little bit. So you just temp gauge not working. It was getting all twitchy, like really twitchy. And so under the hood, I just messed with the wire a little bit, and I don't know, maybe it must be a bad connection under the hood, because now the gauge doesn't work at all. So I'll have to check it again. Definitely seems to have helped a little bit performance wise. could be. It's just sluggish right off the line. Once the RPMs and the boost kick in, it takes off, you know. But just this right here, it's spinning. Roads are wet, and we had a light shower, so probably a little oil slicky. So I'm gonna go back and we'll make a new video, and I'm not gonna adjust it much. I don't want it, you know, belching black smoke all the time or anything like that. I just wanted to adjust it just a little bit. We'll probably just do a half a turn and see if that makes a difference in how it performs. So, overflow valve, I think it was worth it. I think that was a nice little upgrade. It definitely seems to have a little more pep to it. And I don't know, you know, that's probably just gaining back original performance that was lost by a spring that was probably stretched and not allowing the correct pressure. So thanks for watching. Leave a comment down below, hit the like button, and subscribe for more.